Hello, my name is Tracy Dunlap. I supervise the Emergency Response Unit for Sutter County Child Welfare Services. The goal of our department is to ensure the safety of children in the Sutter County community. During the COVID-19 pandemic, community oversight of children in Sutter County has drastically changed, resulting in fewer suspected child abuse reports being received by our department. We believe that this is not the result of children experiencing less abuse and neglect, but rather the lack of eyes on children by those adults in the community who would normally be notifying us of their concerns. In March, April, and May of this year, suspected child abuse reports have decreased by an average of 31% over the same time last year. The purpose of this video is for the Sutter County Child Welfare Services Emergency Response Team to provide some general mandated reporting reminders and tips for educators on things to be aware of in this new world of mostly virtual contact with your students. Now here's Kathleen to provide an overview of mandated reporting.
A mandated reporter is required to make a report when they have knowledge of or observe a child in his or her professional capacity or within the scope of his or her employment whom he or she knows or reasonably suspects has been the victim of child abuse. It is important for mandated reporters to also know who and when to call when concerned about a child. If you have reason to believe that a child is in imminent risk, call 911. If you believe that a child is the victim of abuse or neglect from a perpetrator not living in the child's home, call local law enforcement. However, if you believe that a child is experiencing abuse or neglect in their own home perpetrated by an in-home caregiver, call Child Welfare Services 24-hour hotline at 530-822-7227. When making a report, that initial phone call is very important because it allows a social worker to ask you clarifying questions and provides an opportunity for the social worker to check in on the child sooner if necessary versus waiting for a written report to arrive via fax or email. When making a suspected child abuse report, mandated reporters are required to follow up their initial phone call with a written and signed suspected child abuse report or SCAR form within 36 hours. The Child Welfare Services fax number is 530-822-7384. And now here's Tracy to talk about the impact COVID-19 has had on families in Sutter County.
The COVID-19 pandemic has affected our lives in almost every way, both personally and professionally. During this time, it's important to pay attention to what's going on around you. Check in on your neighbors. Pay attention to how the children in your neighborhood are doing. And for those families that seem to be struggling, reach out to them and offer your support. If you see something, say something. Children are isolated from community oversight in a way that we've not seen before in this country. And as a result, Child Welfare Services is not hearing about concerns that would normally be reported to us by coaches, teachers, doctors, and other adults in the community who are normally actively involved with children. Now here's Erica to give you some tips on things to look for in this new landscape of mostly virtual education.
Some things to consider while working in this new landscape of virtual education. Is a child missing scheduled virtual class time? Have you been unable to reach the child and or the family by telephone? Have you heard or seen anything concerning during virtual meetings or phone calls, such as a dirty home, yelling, screaming, hitting, etc.? Does the child appear tired, sad, scared, or upset? Now, here's Nicole to talk about what to do when you're concerned about a child.
If you're concerned about a family, believe a family is in need of support, and don't suspect a child is experiencing abuse or neglect, please consider referring the family to community resources. Be the bridge that helps connect the family to community-based services. There are programs that can help families fill a need and avoid developing more significant problems. However, if you're concerned a child is experiencing abuse or neglect, please follow your agency's procedures for filing a suspected child abuse report. Now here's Holly with more information.
Keep in mind that families are under more stress during this challenging time and may be experiencing new challenges in their family functioning. Consider this when you've identified concerns within a family. How is the parent's behavior impacting the child? What changes are you seeing in the child, and when did you begin to notice them? What services does the family already have in place? Now here's Katie to talk about supporting families during COVID-19.
Be available to help support families. Ask how they're doing and really listen to what they have to say to you. Avoid adding more stress to families. Pay attention to how they're coping with existing tasks and assignments before assigning them new tasks. Encourage good eating habits, exercise, and prioritize family fun time. For parents who are struggling with being parents during this time, refer them to the California 24/7 Parent Hotline at 415-441-KIDS. And finally, take care of yourselves and reach out to help if you need it. We're all in this together as a community.